So I think now it'd probably be best if we did sort of a full overview of what the experience is like actually using the application. So if you want to walk us through what the setup process is, because I know that's actually one of the biggest obstacles when it comes to setting up something that has to do with television, particularly say if you have a Harmony remote. They've done a lot of work trying to make it so that it can detect what components you have, or basically trying to take the hassle out of the consumer's hands, because most people can't. I mean, this stuff is really hard to figure out, right? So how do you guys solve that problem?
You know, let's assume that I got this unit from Apple Retail or store.apple.com. I brought it home. I took it out of the box. There are two pieces. It has a little instruction that says I need to plug one end of what we call the peel cable into power and the other end into my wireless router. In this case, I've already done it, and it's right behind. And then this is the fruit. I've already put the battery in. I'm going to just leave it on the coffee table. Sure. And I got the app, and the app has two options for me. It says use the free Peel Discovery app or set up as Peel Universal Control. And the Discovery app is something that you can use if you don't have the hardware, but in this case, I'm going to try and set it up as a universal control. It says plug the Peel cable into a power source and an Ethernet port on your Wi-Fi router. And I'm going to say the Peel cable is plugged in, and now it says take the cap off, and it asks me to put in a 5-digit number out of the Peel fruit, and it is 58298. And I'm going to go 58298. And it is currently pairing with the Peel cable and Peel fruit. Did I put in the right one? I'm going to wait. And you will have to do this only the first time that you bring in. It usually is much faster. I might have mistyped in, but let's see if the app can handle it. Well, it did pair successfully, and it says align the peel fruit, position the peel fruit so that the arrow on the bottom points at your equipment. For best performance, place the fruit within 15 feet of your television and 25 feet of your peel cable. So this one is reasonably pointed at my entertainment center, so I'm going to go hit tap next. And it is asking me to name this room. I'm going to say living room because that's where this thing is set up right now. And it has gotten to a screen that says choose TV brand, and it gives me a set of popular brands such as Panasonic, Samsung, Sony, and others. I'm going to choose other because this one is a Pioneer TV, so I'm scrolling down, and I'm going to choose Pioneer. And at this point, it says, please make sure your TV is turned off, then tap the button below. The button below says turn on TV. I'm going to tap that. And I see a little spinning cursor. It's now trying to download the specific code that's needed to turn on the TV. And I did hear the TV turning on. It says, did your TV turn on? Some TVs may take up to 10 seconds to display an image. And in this case, it did not, so I'm going to say no, and I'm going to go back, and it gave me a second option saying, please make sure a TV is turned off. Now I'm going to try turning it again. Sometimes for some TVs, you have to try between a couple of different code sets. So in this case, boom, I did see, and the TV turned on. So at this point, it actually knows what TV I have, and the TV setup is complete. So now it's asking me what zip code I live in, and I'm going to punch in 95054. And it's going to the cloud and pulling all the TV services that are available for this area. And it gave me AT&T UVerse, Comcast, DirecTV, Dish, over the air, and a few other options. I'm going to choose DirecTV. And right now it's configuring my channel lineup, and in a second it will ask me, walk me through the rest of the setup. I'm going to give it a second, and now it says, what do you use to change channels? Do you have a satellite box with a DVR or no DVR, or are you plugging your cable directly into the TV. In this case, it's a DVR. I'm going to tap on it, and then it says, when watching your DVR, do you use your remote to adjust volume on your TV or your stereo? Basically, it's asking, do you have a stereo router? Do you have the audio routed through a stereo or not? In this case, it is yes, and I'm going to choose stereo. And again, it gave me a bunch of brands that are more popular from a stereo manufacturer. And I have Yamaha, Pioneer, Denon, Marantz, Onkyo, Sony, and many, many others. And I'm going to choose Yamaha in this case. And it will take me through a similar process that we had for TV, where it will ask me to try to turn it on so that it can make sure that the configuration is intact. So it says, please make sure your stereo is turned off, then tap the button below. So I'm going to turn on stereo. And again, it's pulling the code from the cloud. I did hear the stereo turning on, and I do see that the stereo is on at this point, and my TV has started playing. Now, at this point, what we have done is we have understood, the Peel app understands the brand of your TV, the Peel app understands that you have a DirecTV set-top box with DVR and you live in 95054, and it also understands that your audio routes through your Yamaha receiver. Somewhat a challenging part is now to understand how these things are all wired together, because that's where a lot of complexity comes in at a living room. We've done something fairly innovative to simplify the process. One option is to ask the user as to how this thing is plugged, and a lot of our consumers don't actually remember or don't even know how these things are plugged in. So what it is actually right now giving me is saying, for some stereos, Peel can remember your inputs so that you can easily switch between activities. So it's, for now, it is going to throw me off of whatever input I am in to a random input, and then it's going to go sequentially try to switch me through each input, and it's going to ask me to confirm when I actually am back in the input that I was originally in. And that way, Peel knows for the next time when you're switching between TV and DVD player, it knows exactly what to do to get back to the TV. So now I'm trying to send input codes on my stereo sequentially so that I can get to the right input. And I just did HDMI 1, and it is now sending the next code. And I see the stereo switching to HDMI 1, and at this point, we're back to live TV, and Peel understands how the cable box and the receiver are plugged in. Now we have one last task to do, which is we need to understand how the stereo is plugged into the TV. We'll go through a similar process. It is going to throw us off to a completely different input on the TV, and it's going to try and bring us back to the right input. And once we confirm, Peel knows exactly how the DVR is routed through the TV, that we don't have to say this. This is the only time we would set it up. And now I'm going to send an input code to the TV. And boom. I am back. At this point, I'm hitting done. And the last step is it's asking me to pick the brand of the set-top box. I told that app that it's actually DirecTV, but DirecTV can be used via a DirecTV box or a TiVo. I'm going to choose DirecTV on this, and it's going to confirm that it has the right code for DirecTV by trying to change channel. I tapped on channel next, and the channel did go up, and I'm going to say yes at this point, and the setup is done. So that's really the setup. At this point, we've taken a fairly complex living room, one part of it, and we've set up. I can go at this. We do not at this point. We get folks into our top pick screen and try to get them to watch TV. But if they want to add other devices such as DVD player and Roku, that is something that they can do anytime. So let's say I want to go check out what movies are on right now, and I have Mr. Wonderful, and let's say I tap on that. and it should go to a channel, or let me choose another show. It's called Dickie Roberts, and I am in Dickie Roberts at this point, and the setup is done. And now when I just swipe up with my finger, the volume does go up on my stereo. So it is smart enough to understand that the channel change needs to go to the set-top box, but the volume up needs to go to the stereo. So that's pretty much the setup.
Once setup is done, then we have access to your live TV information. So what Peel does is it pulls all shows here and then presents the information in a visually pleasing manner. So the first screen that you go to as soon as setup is done is the topic screen, which is recommendations made by Peel at this very instant. So here you have shows. The small thumbnails that you see are TV shows. The larger portrait ones are the movies. So you see a couple of TV shows, one movie, and a sports event that's happening right now. So Peel takes all the content that's available to you on live TV and then chops it up into TV shows, movies, sports, and of course you can search everything that's available. So if you were to go into TV shows, for example, this is how the interface is. The first screen that you would land in when you go into TV shows is first run, which means that these are shows that are airing for the first time ever. So most of your live events and stuff that you don't want to miss will be on the screen. You can swipe horizontally to switch between genres. You can see a little genre wheel up here. So right now I'm seeing comedy. Now once the show is picked, then you get a gesture pad on your phone, which lets you control your everyday experiences like volume up and down, fast forward, rewind, and all that kind of stuff. And the challenge here for us was to compete against the plastic remotes. And as much as these are dumb devices, they're also great devices because they give you tactile feedback on physical buttons, and we had to compete with that, right, on a flat touchscreen. And the way we kind of solved that problem was by making everything gesture-based. So you just remember the gesture. You don't have to search for the buttons, right? So a volume up is as easy as flicking up, and that's volume up. You can swipe down and hold for continuous volume down. You can do fast forward if you're on live TV. That won't work. If you did, fast forward, rewind, that would work, and pause that, and all that kind of stuff. So everything is a gesture. So this is what we call the playback mode of the gesture pad. Another mode for the gesture pad is navigation. And to answer your question, how do I get to my content on my DVR? It's pretty much like your plastic remote. So you would hit menu, and then you would go to you'd browse your DVR content there, as usual. So that's how you get your DVR content. One other thing of interest is when you're watching shows, there is a little thumbnail strip on top, and what that's doing is it is all the other shows that are available in that particular genre. So if you're in the mood for comedy, and if you choose a comedy show, then you land on the gesture pad, and on top is this little ribbon that gives you more access to similar content.
Okay.
If you want to stay there, yeah.
And if you have set it up to control your DVD player, your Roku box, and other stuff, when you're switching between these, you don't have to remember that it's HDMI 1 through HDMI 5, and you would just simply switch between activities. The control will happen seamlessly, and you don't have to remember that. You would just switch between it, and it'll all happen seamlessly. And multiple iPod touches can be connected to this Fruit, there's nothing tethered to the iPhone or anything like that, and you could be anywhere in the house, but you can have this experience on your iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, and we have an Android app coming as well.
Very cool.